everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a new stream or sew and chat. So even if you are going to see this later, I hope you'll enjoy this video, and the ones that they are live, I hope you'll enjoy this live stream. Tonight I'm going to make, if you saw my other my previous live sewing, well, it was more talking than sewing. I did say that I'm going to make this pattern, this one here. It's flared pants from the magazine Stitched by You, the winter edition. I'm not sure why everything is in mirrored, and I think we are also seeing it like that. But it's going to be from the magazine Stitched by You, and I'm making it for Lisa, for my daughter. They do have it also in adult size, but it's not really my style, so I don't think I'm going to make these ones. But I did notice a few things when I traced the patterns. They are not as busy as the ones from Knit Mode. I have them here, but they are also split in parts, and it was kind of difficult to put everything together. The lines are pretty, you know, next to each other. But and also I noticed that when they if they say that they have the sizes starting with 104, the size on the pattern is 100. The first size is 110, and they say that you should adjust the lengths of the sleeves and the the legs on the pants. So anyway, my daughter is somewhere between 136, something like that, 134, and the next one. So I traced for her a little bit the width of the smaller size and the length of the next bigger size. These are the pieces. I did already cut them. This is the front, and I have the back also. As you can see, the leg is pretty wide. Hi, thank you. So the leg here is pretty wide. Lisa wanted like this, and I have also the pieces for the waistband. Also something a little bit strange. They don't really say this magazine is made together with a company that is making fabrics. So they are using only their fabrics in the magazine, but they don't specify exactly how much stretch a fabric should have. And I mean, they do say a little bit on the where they have all the they have here a few small markings where they say that this is only for wovens, and something like this is only for knits. But I think it was, and for the other ones probably you can make them in knits or wovens. But I think it was much better to say exactly what kind of fabric do you need. Do you need something with stretch? Do you need something with drape? I mean, if you are really a beginner sewer, you should you need to think a little bit for yourself. And I don't know, if you don't know fabrics as well, maybe you will make mistakes. For example, in these pants, they say that you can you put them together, and at the end you put them on, and then you need to decide if you have a zipper or not. Which I think, you know, if it's made for stretch, you should have an elastic in your waistband. Or if it's not for, if it's made for wovens, you should have, of course, a zip. But I think because they know which fabric they used, of course, they go by that. But I suppose they used something like this. This is a jersey, a ripped jersey, which is pretty elastic. I'm not going to stretch on this because otherwise I'm going to stretch it out of shape, and I don't want that. But we will see. I decided to put elastic on this. And I'm going to let you see how exactly I'm going to do that. It's a method that I saw earlier, and I used it earlier in a pattern from Jelly. They have a pull-on pant, and I think Designer Stitch is also used it in their Dylan pants, where you put a piece of elastic in the much wider waistband, only to give support and to keep it on your body. And so, because I'm working with a knit fabric, I'm going to use mostly my serger and a little bit my sewing machine for attaching the elastic, and I'm going to put in a minute also my cover stitch to see how that is going to work with this fabric. I don't know if I'm going to hem the pants because I want to have Lisa try them on first, but I'm going to do a test stitch on a piece of fabric, a piece of this jersey, to see how it's going to work with the cover stitch machine. So first I have my serger here. I tried to put it a little bit to be able to show it to you. Also, how easy it is to thread this Babylock. This is the Babylock Acclaim. I used to have a Babylock Imagine 2, I think was the name exactly, and I used that for a lot of years. It was a really great machine, but I really wanted this one because it has the wave stitch, which I'm still to try. But this one, of course, has some other cool features. Like, I really like the lowering of the presser foot is done with the handle on this side instead of having it in the back, where sometimes it's difficult to reach. So this is very handy. I find that the machine is much stable because it's also much bigger. And but for the rest, it's really if you have a Babylock, you know that it's really easy to thread. So I have here some thread. I'm going to use, of course, 2 needles because for a stretch band like this, needs to have a little bit to be a sturdy stitch. I'm going to use 2 needles, of course, 4 threads, and I don't really have the exact the color that I need, but this one is very much like this blue, and this one is going to be inside, so it's not so important. But I always tend, if I don't have the right color when I need to search something, I always I always have at least 1 bobbin of thread, even if it's not a big one and it's a normal one for the sewing machine, and I'm using that, or 2. I'm using them for the needles, or if I have only 1, I'm putting some of the thread on you know, if I need to do something small, because if you really need to search a lot, you need to have like big cones like this. So I'm using always the color closest that is matching the color of my project. I'm using always in the needle, and for the loopers, it doesn't really matter if you don't really care about the inside. But sometimes I'm choosing something contrasting that is really also nice. So I'm going to thread my machine now. Let me see. I'm going to put it here on threading. It's really difficult to put it like this because, you know, I'm sitting a little bit wrong. So I'm going to put it on threading, and I'm going to turn the wheel until these little things are getting close. And then I can, let me see. I think this is stuck. This is something else. I don't know what is this. Okay. This is really a really easy machine to thread. Probably not in this position. The handle needs to be up because the tension disc needs to be open. I'm going to put this up. Always hear that click. And this is the lower looper that needs to go in. Then I have the thread immediately here. It's a little bit difficult to see with the light. Then I have the upper looper. Needs to come from behind. Let me see, this is the second one. This is a great machine, and I really use the other one with so much pleasure. I think I had to change on the other one only 1 time the knife because I forgot a pin and it was immediately destroyed, of course. This is the upper looper. And also this one, I mean, it's really easy to use directly from the box, especially because I had another model. So something a little bit the same. Okay, let me see. This does have also a threader for the needles, which again is very difficult to use in this position. The scissor. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can do it from here. There's a small hole, of course, for the needle. Oh. Then when you put this up, there I have my first needle, and then I have another one. Okay. Okay. So when this is done, I can start sewing. This is really strange to thread like this, but as you can see, even in this position, it's very easy to be done. And when this is done, this needs to be back in serging, and then everything needs to be closed. Otherwise, the machine is not going to run. I'm going to turn it now because otherwise I really can sew like this. Let me see, put the threads behind. And of course, it was really nice. Now I'm ready to sew. I have here a small. Okay, let me put it here. So I have here my. I'm going to sew the legs first. Let's see. This should be actually a really perfect project for a beginner. Also on a serger. Another great project for someone who just wants to start sewing with knits is a legging, of course. This is not so far away from a legging, but this is, for example, this one is a pattern that I made so many times for Lisa. And the cool thing is that this pattern is the Clara legging from Jolly Patterns also. And this one is coming in sizes from babies to adult. I'm not sure how high they are going with their sizes, but I made already this one for years since they are out. I made it so many times, and it's a really easy pattern. There is no side seam, and they have in the original pattern they have a gusset, you know, like a triangle that is coming in the crotch area here. But they also have a tutorial where you can take that out and modify the pattern a little bit. So it's really, really easy. And also elastic. And I'm always adding a piece of fabric or something like that for Lisa to know exactly which is the front and which is the back. And this one is actually easy because there is no front seam, as you can see here. There's only the center back seam. But for her to make it easy, I'm adding also always a bit of jersey, something that is soft, but something contrasting that she can see immediately where the back is. That's a great idea when you have also for sweaters and stuff like that. I'm putting a little bit of jersey to give her, you know, where the back is. Okay, so this is the back piece. I'm going to take the front too. And I'm going to sew the legs separately, and then I'm going to put them together at the crotch. I'm not really sure how they do it in the magazine, but you know, after you sew a few garments, I got my own ways how I'm putting stuff together, and only if it's something really special, then or difficult with I don't know what kind of seams, then I really take a good look at the instructions. But otherwise, especially when I add the seam allowances myself, then I know what to do. But there are also patterns where they have different seam allowances for the neckline or for the waist, and then I really need to read the instructions to be sure that I'm sewing the right seam allowances. I read on a post on Facebook the other day, a designer, I think it was a German designer, and she was posting something. The post was about the fact that she wanted to show us or her readers to show why it's important to sew with a seam allowance, because she said that she's reading sometimes from her testers that there are people that they are saying, oh, I did not even use a seam allowance, I just sew it like that. And I was thinking, that's really bad. I mean, not adding seam allowance to your pattern when you are sewing, that is really something really bad. I mean, that's like basic sewing. You always need to add seam allowance to your pattern, you know. Okay, so I have here, this is a side seam, and I'm not a big user of pins. I'm using, I have here a notch, and I have here my hem at the waist. So I'm going to sew this, and usually I'm chain stitching. So I have my pieces prepared, and I'm sewing everything in one time. Okay, this is another front and a back. And also something that I'm doing almost every time, or every time is possible, I am sewing from the hem up. Also on tops, on sleeves, on skirts, always from the hem up. And from the shoulder points to the inside. Okay, so let's see how this is working. I have my machine with stitch length of 3 or 3, and I think I'm going to put my differential feed one step higher than neutral, because I don't want to stretch the fabric too much, but I need to see how it's doing it. I had here a piece of this jersey. Where is it? Oh, here. Let's see how it's sewing this. It's always a good. It's always a good thing to make a sample, to be sure that you know, the machine got well threaded. I'm going to drink a little water. Sorry, that's a lot of talking. Usually I'm not talking so much when I'm sewing. Okay, let's see. And I added to my pattern 6mm seam allowance, so I'm going to my knife is on the lowest, on the closest by the needles as possible, and that gives me like 6mm seam allowance. Okay, let's see. And this is how it's looking. It's a good stretch. As you can see, the quality of the stitch is really nice. Okay, my iron is not warm, so let's sew the real stuff. Okay, so this is the outer seam. Okay, I'm going to take this pin out. I really don't like using pins next to my serger. As I said, sometimes one time went wrong, and it's the only time that I did that. Okay, let's see. Also, this machine is not as it's not making as much as so much noise as the other one. I have the feeling that I don't know, it's more quiet. Oh, and always look at what you are serging, you know, because if something is getting cut. Okay. And then I have the other one. Let's see. And this is a really easy and fast project to make. I wonder how this fabric is going to wear as a pant. I'm really curious. And also it has nap, so I did take care to cut everything with the nap going down. I find it nicer to wear. I know a lot of people are pinning a lot their knit fabrics, but I'm really not a big pinner. Also, I mean, only if there is something really like a rayon that is very moving around or something like that. But for the rest, I really don't pin as much. Although I have a lot of pins, and I have a few more of these. Okay. So this is one. This is the side seam. Okay. And the easiest way is to press this one now. And I have, let me see if I can turn my machine, my table a little bit. Usually I'm standing up. I don't have everything like this. Oh, and if you think that usually I'm sewing here in the night, all with makeup and dressed up, it's not. Usually not. Mostly not. Okay, so I just press this a little bit. First as so. And then I'm going to press it. This is a side seam, and I'm going to press it to the back. And I think I'm going to press it from the wrong side of the fabric because I'm not sure. And if I was to press this from the right side, I have a piece of silk organza, and that is what I'm using to press stuff from the on the right side. And also I have a Teflon shoe for my iron. Let me see. This is the piece of organza that I'm using for the for pressing. And as you can see, every time I'm chopping off something, where I needed this for facing, to face a hole. And this is the Teflon foot. I think this one is for prim, but it's working really, really nice also on wool and stuff like that. It's really doing its job very well. Okay, so I'm going to press this on like this. I really cannot press sitting down. And then I always use my hands when I'm pressing. And if I'm not using my hands, I have a piece of wood. You know, the clapper, but this is actually is doing the same as the clapper. It's just a piece of hardwood that is always sucking the steam. So if you don't want to burn your hands, you better take a picture like this. Okay. So this is the side seam, and then we almost have one leg. I'm going to do the same for the other leg, of course. First sewn, press the sewn. And in this, when I'm pressing a sewn, I always, first of all, I'm just giving it a little steam without putting the iron immediately on the garment, because like this is, if the garment is stretched while I was sewing, it's getting the chance to get first back in shape, and then I can put the iron on it. Okay. Again, where's my back? Where's my back? Where's my back? The back you can always recognize because the back it has a longer crotch, more shaped crotch. I wonder if I should. I want to make soon maybe a sew along for a coat, because Designer Stitch is going to make their coat pattern very soon. But before that, I have I opened an old coat from H&M, I think it is. And it was really interesting to see what in that coat was, how they made it. I mean, I did not even expect to see so many like interfacing and shoulder pads and sleeve heads. So it was really interesting. I want to make a video on that to share with you what I found there in that coat, that old coat. Very interesting. Because we always try to make stuff like ready to wear, and sometimes better than ready to wear. Okay, so I have my side seam is sewn and pressed. It's looking nice. Pressed to the back. You see, this is how the Clara legging is looking when not really like this, because this would be in the Clara, it would be the center front. Now I need to show you that pattern another time. If you have it, you know, it's a strange pattern that you cut the pant actually on the fold, and then you have only the center back seam and the inseam. Okay, so now I'm going to sew the inseam of these pants, and I noticed something. Yes, I have here. I always make small clips for the notches, you know, making triangles and stuff like that. And always keep in mind that depending on the seam allowance that I have, I need to be careful not to make the snips too deep, because otherwise I'm snipping through the seam allowance. So to the seam. Okay, and here at the crotch, I'm meeting at that 6mm seam allowance I have. So like this, you know, those dog ears, because I'm meeting at the seam and not at the you know, at the cutting edge. Okay, so I have this is pinned, and where is the other one? And this is the other one. I know these pants, they are really in fashion, but I don't know, not really my style. But I think maybe just a bit lesser flare, something that I would consider to wear, and maybe in a nice denim like jeans. Okay. I'm really curious how the cover stitch is going to work on this ribbed jersey. What's the name of this in English? It's a just flew off my head. Okay, put this away. Okay, so this is almost done. Then I have only the crotch and the waist. Okay. I'm not saying that pinning is a waste of time, but you know, sometimes it is. I mean, if you keep things straight and aligned, I really don't see the need of putting 20 pins in a seam. But of course, if you are not sure and you want to be a little bit extra secure, you can always use a lot of pins. Sewing over pins is a big no-no, even on a sewing machine. Okay. This is almost done. Making a lot of noise. Okay. I'm not going to cut it just yet. Okay. I used on my other machine not to lift up my presser foot because it was also, as I said, it was a little bit, it was in the back and it was not easy. But I mean, it was not difficult, but like this is really handy. But now I find that on this machine, and they also say that you can just lift the toe a little bit up and put the fabric. But I find that on this machine, it's pretty hard to lift it up, and it's much easier to do it from the handle. Okay. And I'm coming here at my notch, and then I can align again my fabric. And actually, this hand is doing all the guiding of the fabric. And I have my thumb under here, as you can see. Here, this one is under, and with the rest of the fingers, I'm keeping the fabric together. And this one is just to I don't know, helping it stay the same at the edge. I'm not pulling. I'm not pushing anything. Okay. See that. And then again, matching the cup edges. See. Okay, this is done. All right. I hope you can hear me well. And you can see me well, I hope. I did add some extra lights. I haven't found pain in my eyes. I hope you can see me at least. Okay, I have now the inseam ready. And I'm going to take a moment to make also the waistbands. I know that the bigger one is the back and the smaller one is the front. So I'm going to sew this at the side seams. They are both cut on the fold. And also these ones are made with, they have a 6mm seam allowance. It's really not necessary to cut a seam allowance of 1.5 centimeter on a garment like this that I know that is going to get serged, and you know, everything is getting cut away. Let's see what I have here. I have a bit of a bunching. It's okay, it's going to be in the seam anyway. And I have here a little bit more. Yep. I'm going to put my differential feedback back on neutral on this one, because this one is not stretching too much. And I have a feeling that it's doing crazy stuff with my seam. As you can see, I put the differential feed. This thing here. When I'm sewing jerseys, like rayon jersey, that is really stretchy. You can, if you are new to serging, if you are sewing a rayon jersey, like let me see, I have something here. Probably I do. Yes, of course I do. If you are sewing something like this, let's say, with your serger, you'll notice that it's going to get really very wavy. Let me take a little bit. If you are going to see what a big difference this is going to make. So now it's on neutral. Let's see, I need to have a little bit of a bigger seam to see something. Let's see, we are going to try like this. Yeah. Put this together. Wrong sides together. This is giving such a big mess. This ripped jersey. Okay, so now I have it on neutral. Not as wavy as I expected, but depending on depending on the seam, and if I put it, but it's definitely stretched. But you'll notice that depending on the seam you are making, sometimes you'll see really big waves. But if you have that and you put it on one step higher, you'll see how the fabric is getting just a little bit more pulled together. You can even see it here, that those little things, little ripples, that you can easily take out with your ironing board. Which in my case is completely cold again. As you can see, those things are away, and your seam is going to be nice and flat. So if you have a serger, do change your knobs and try to see what is best for the fabric that you're using, because they are there to help you. Okay, so I have now my, I'll put it back to N. I have one piece of my waistband, and here is another one. Also, something that I find it really funny in the magazine, they have it in 4 languages, I think. English, Dutch, German, and French, I think. Yeah. Or 5, they have it also in Spanish. Anyway, a lot of languages. And I find it funny that in the English version of the instructions, they say at the end, sew the seams. So I was like, which seams you mean? Like they say, stitch seam in panels. But luckily, I can understand also Dutch. And by stitch the seams, they mean stitch make a hem in your garment. A bit funny. Okay. Okay. Oops. I don't really enjoy sewing this fabric is it's a bit funky. I don't know that. I don't know. I don't really like it. I hope it's nice to wear. Sewing is not so much fun. Okay. Let's see. Okay, and now a little bit of pressing. 1 second. Okay, my iron is done. So and for these little seams of the waistband, when I'm going to sew the. Hi Jennifer, happy to have you here. When I'm going to sew the upper part of the seam of the waistband, I'm going to for this side seams, I'm going to put one to the back and one to the front in order to avoid too much bulk here at the side seams. Now I have also the easy of the fence wire, or to press actually. Okay, they are looking really nice already. Let's see. Yeah. And to get inside, I'm going to use this roll seam, I think it's called. Okay. Also here the seam is getting pressed to the back. See? You see this? It's I don't know what it is this fabric. But it's really soft and Lisa really likes it. So I hope she will really enjoy this pants. Okay. 1 second. Okay. So this is done, and I'm going to leave it like this. And this one, I'm going to put it also to the back, the seam. Oh, getting there. Where is my back? My back is this way. Okay. Let's see. I really like sewing the pants like this. I think it's the method most used also in my iron. This is a Tefal. Actually, I have two of them. This is the Pro Express Turbo. The problem is with this one, that's why I bought the other one. The other one is just a newer model, but it's already 3 or 4 years old. The problem with this one is that it's getting really funky lines here on the plate, and I did change it already one time, and it got again. I don't know why. It does have a lot of steam, but it's also the water here. It has a lot of calc, and I need to decalc it every few weeks, I should say. But it's a great one. I really like it, and it has a few steps for temperature, of course. And this is the highest steam it has. This one has also like a boost. Okay, so this is the other one. I'm going to turn this one on the right side, like this. And now I'm going to put, let me see, I'm going to put this one inside the other one. Let me see, I'm going to put my hands in, put it down. Okay. Okay, now I have here the inseams. I'm going to put them both to the back. I'm going to put a pin here. Underneath. Yes, be sure that the pin is on both sides, exactly on the seam. And then match a little bit. Okay. Without my talking, I think this was a really 1 hour project, but now we are 3/4 away and I'm still not done. Okay, let's see. I have here this, and I'm also going to put together my waistband. Okay, this is the front. I'm going to turn it one. Doesn't matter, they are really both the same. And I'm not going to use any interfacing in this because I want to have it really soft. Okay. For Lisa. Let me see, because now I'm getting confused. This is the front. Okay. So now I'm going to sew the upper part of the waistband. And I'm going to put here one to the front, one to the back. Doesn't really matter which one is to the front or to the back. Or if you want, you can put the one, if you really want to take care of, you need to put the one that is on the, from the waistband part that is on the outside, put that to the back, and the inside to the front, you know. A bit confusing, right? Okay. Let's see. I have this correct. Yes, I have here another notch for the center back. Okay, and I should actually, this is how you should pin actually for the serger. But of course, look at my other pins, they are all the other way. Okay, let's see, let's start somewhere from the back. Again, 6mm seam allowance. Oh. Stay here. Okay. When I was looking for buying my iron, actually it's a steam generator. It has like a steam thing here down. I was looking to also to those Philips, I think. From Philips, they have the ones that they are, they know by itself what kind of fabric you have, and I found them a little bit scary, especially on sewing. I mean, how that iron knows what I want to press. Okay. And let's see. Here are the sides here. Okay. This thing can go really, really hard, but I don't want to make the cable move too much. I think it's also making a lot of more noise. Okay. I'm coming here a bit back. Mostly I'm putting my knife down. Of course, this is not so important in an enclosed seam like this. Okay, so this is my waistband, and I'm going to give it a press, more like a little spin. So when I'm going to, before I'm going to put this in the pants, I'm going to attach some elastic on it. I'm going to do in a minute because that I need to do with my sewing machine. Okay, these are the pants, and let me see. I'm going to start from the front because like this, when I'm sewing, this is going the seams of the inseam are going to go nice with the flow and not against the flow. Okay, pin out. Okay, let's see. I did do some measuring, and I hope Lisa is going to fit these ones, but otherwise I can consider them like a 12, and then at least I know what I need to adjust next. But it's I mean, the fabric is stretchy. It yeah, what can go wrong? I wonder. Okay. Oops. So now I have the inseam done. This is the back, this is the front. So now I can give this a little bit of a spin. And a little press. Okay, let's see. These are fun. They're really nice. Okay, so now these are the pants, and I have here my waistband, but I'm pretty sure that this is, I mean, how, I don't understand how this was supposed to work, because I think it must have a little bit of elastic. I don't think, I mean, the fabric is, because I'm almost sure that they use the same fabric. The fabric is stretchy, but it's not as stretchy. It doesn't have so much recovery to act like an elastic. So I have here, this is the elastic that I'm using the most for these are her leggings. And I did measure a little bit. Until here, as you can see, it's an elastic that is, I always forget, it's 3 centimeters wide. And yeah, let me see what I have for my sewing machine here. Okay. I need to put my sewing machine now because I want to have the elastic. I'm going to cut this bit. And let's see, I need to put this just away. Yep. And I have this girl. which is really heavy. This is really not a machine that I can take with me to my sewing club here next to the door, but I really can because it's really, really very heavy. Okay, let's see. I have here cable prepared, and I have also my pedal somewhere. So, what I want to do now is to join my elastic, and let me cut this on a little bit straighter. And this I'm going to sew with some with a zigzag, you know, a few times. Go back long enough. Usually when I'm cutting elastic, I'm always, before I'm cutting it from the roll, I'm stretching it, and then I'm measuring what I need to have. Let me see. I have here 5, a bit bigger, 4.2 with 4. Doesn't really matter. Let me see. Oh, this one. I have so many pedals under my table. You don't want to know cables and stuff like that. Yeah, it doesn't work. Why not? Oh yeah. Okay, a little bit. Oh, come back to the front. Okay, that will do. Because this one is getting anyway. So in the like this, you can see. I could have done it better, I think. But this will do. Okay, the next step. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to. I will just use this one, the one that I want to use for the. I'm going to pick a side, which one is the outside and which one is the inside band. And I'm going to press the seam allowance to the inside, of course. And then I have my little band. Now, the next step is to drink some water. Just a moment. All right. Okay. Let's see. So I have my seam allowance pressed to the part of the waistband that I decided I wanted to have it on the inside. In this case, they're the same. And for the elastic, I'm going to quarter this. So this is my seam. I'm going to put it in half. And usually I use a piece of chalk. In this case, I have a piece of soap. And then I'm going to put my sign together with my previous seam like this. And I'm going to put again. So now it's in 4 pieces. And then I'm going to do with my little waistband the same. As you know, as I said, the back waistband is a little bit bigger than the front. So I'm just going to match a little bit my notches that I had here for the center front and center back. Let's see. Where are they? Okay. So these two are the fronts and the back. No, it doesn't need to be really exactly. I mean, it's not a tailor coat, you know. So I have it like this, and I have my elastic the same. I'm going to put that seam of the elastic, I'm going to put it to be on the, let me see, I find this really confusing sometimes. The seam is going like this, and this is going like this. See, here is my center, center, center. Here is my center. And I'm going to put the elastic only on the that seam allowance, like this. See? So I have here one. I'm going to meet this point with the side, or with the side with the other quartered mark I have. This one is the center front, I guess. The same. And I'm going to attach the elastic here only on the seam allowance. Okay. And to do that, I'm going to use again my zigzag stitch. And I think I'm going to make it a bit smaller, like a 3 with a 3.5. Let's see, put this away. You know, it's difficult to see anything, but I'm going to show you in a moment. Let's take this away. Okay. Okay. And because I know that my this is something really cool on this machine. This is a Print Expression 720 from PAF. It's really cool when I put the presser foot high. When I press the second time the button, the dog feet is the feet dogs are going down, so I can easily put my work here. Okay, again, the wrong pedal. Okay, let's see. And I know I'm going to take a few stitches only to anchor this one. Let's see. I know that my waistband is longer than my elastic. So I'm going just to pull it a little bit. And now I'm attaching the elastic only to the seam allowance. Oops, my thread is low. Okay. Where is my center? Is here. Okay. It's important to pull the elastic together with the fabric, but actually you pull only the elastic and you hold in the same move the fabric straight. Okay, this is almost done. You know, I'm halfway. Yeah. See. These are the moments when you want to have 3 hands, but I'll have to do it with 2. Okay. Now I'm almost done. As you can see here, I have a lot of a bit more fabric than my elastic, so I'm just going to pull them together as much as I can. but without stretching the fabric too much. Actually, I stretch the elastic to meet the fabric. And you know, maybe it's not everywhere perfect. I think Lisa is not going to watch inside her waistband. And if she does, and she don't like it, then she needs to make them herself. She's going to watch this. She's going to say, "No, Mama, I love them." Okay. So this is, you see, I had a pin here, very dangerous. This is how it's looking now. A bit strange, right? The elastic is attached here on the seam allowance, as you can see. And now, this is out again. Okay, the idea is to press this, to give it a little press to have the elastic getting back in shape. And then this is going to get turned like this to the inside. Let's see. This is how my waistband is going to look. Okay, this needs to be worn. Of course, it's cold again. This is something very annoying at this. That's I mean, it's not annoying because this happened to forget the iron. But after, I think 8 minutes of pause is getting out, and then, or I don't know how many, 10 minutes, and then it needs a while to get warm again. Okay, so I have this done. Then the next time is going to be to sew what I can also do, and I know that in those pull-up jeans from Jolly, it's done. They also, so this is my waistband that is stitched to the seam allowance, and then they turn it down, and then they put another row of stitching here, that the waist elastic, that the elastic is really anchored on the waistband. And I could do that, but I wonder if in this case it's really necessary. I mean, they made this pattern without any elastic, so I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to let it like this, and I'll see how it behaves. And I will knew for the next one if it was better to be done or not. So I'm just going to press it like this. This is done. So first, as I sew it, I'm going to give a little bit of press. That my elastic got back in shape, and now press it, and let's see, this is the front, because that seam allowance needs to be to the back. You know, the seam allowance where I attached the let's see, I don't even think it's necessary to be. But now the fun thing is to have this a little bit nice and straight, to be able to sew it into the pants. So let's see. Okay. I'm matching first the seam allowances. Yeah, from here is, I know I have here also the notches for the, so there, the notches for the center front and center back. So where are they? Can't find them. So I'm going to work my way around. It's very easy because I can see this these ribbed pieces, lines, these two align a little bit, of course, because the elastic is now in. It's a little bit funky to work with. What a normal person should do now is to put this and to baste it, but I'm not. I don't think I'm going to take the time. Let's see. Okay. And I have here one, and I have here the other one. The center front is this one, and then I can put another one here. I really don't get it how they want to have these pants, in what kind of fabric exactly they made it, that they say put it on, and if you need a zipper, put a zipper. I mean, if you need a zipper, yeah, you need a zipper. It's something they're not stretchy. I don't know. Okay, so what I could do now, and I think I'm going to use a really big basting stitch, and just put a bobbin. Doesn't really matter what. Where at least I'm going to take a dark one. Jennifer, do you mean to put this on the pants, the waistband, or you mean to put the elastic? I'm going to put this one. Just going to baste it now because this fabric is really moving around. So I'm going to just make a big basting stitch, like a 5, to be sure that I'm not going too much. That I'm not going to twist this too much, you know. Let's see. But sometimes if I'm working with a ponte knit or something like that, I do skip this and I just go with the 2 layers directly on the serger, because, you know. But this fabric is annoying. And I do have 2 colors more of this. The other part with the elastic, it cannot really be done on the serger because you saw that I have the band and the elastic on one side, so that cannot be done. But this definitely. Okay. And I know this is a straight stitch and probably is going to pop when Lisa is going to stretch this, but it's not important, but because it's going to be attached with the serger, so it's going to be fine. Okay, and just a bit more. So still aligned. Okay, this is done. Okay, I'm going to put this off because I don't need it anymore. You know, usually I have my machines set up here and I'm not moving around with everything. But for this, for what I'm doing tonight in front of the cam is a little bit difficult. Okay, so I have it back. And I have the cable. And okay, this to stay on. So I have here the pants, and let's see, the smaller one is the front. So let me feel. I can feel that the seam allowance of the elastic is on this side, so I know that this side is the inside of my band. So let me see. This needs to be like this. Right sides together. It's very confusing. Okay, so right sides together. I feel here is that seam allowance that is in the elastic. So this needs to be to the inside in the end. Okay, now let me see. Where is my center phone? This here. Oh, unbelievable, but I can see it. Okay. Now put a pin here. Yep. And I have here my side seam, which is going to go to the back, meeting with the side seam of my band. I need to say, I remember now that the pattern, so even more, I find it really strange. I don't really know what for fabric they wanted for this, but the pattern had also darts, like really skimpy darts, like 6 millimeter. This is really 6 millimeter here, very, very small. So what I need to do with that? I took them out here. I measured 6 millimeters at the side and just blended back on the hip. So just a tiny bit I took out. I don't know if it was really necessary, probably not. But again, makes me wonder what kind of fabric was meant for this. Again, here I have a side seam for my pants, and I'm going to place it to the back. And then I have here, let me see, where is my center back? Oh, here is, okay. I have a center back and I'm stuck in a pin. Okay, so I always need to take care that my crotch seam is going, or front and the back is going to the same direction. So I have this, and that's why I based it, because otherwise this is so moving around, and with 3 layers of this yucky fabric, I don't think it was nice work. But it does feel nice against the skin, and I think Lisa is going to enjoy it very much. And I'm going to start sewing from the, where's the back? From the back. This is the front, this is the back, yes. Okay. And again, with the 6 millimeter seam allowance. Okay. Yes. And my differential feed is going to be back a little bit higher, because this is going to stretch again the roll. And I don't need to stretch anything here, because this, the waistband and the pants are, of course, the same length. I hope. I mean, I know they are, because I did through my pattern after I trace it, to be sure that I did not miss a line, or I don't know, do the wrong size. Okay. And I think 10 minutes I'm done. I'm not going to hem them, because I really want Lisa to try them on, but I'm going to put my cover stitch machine, and I want to see how this fabric is going to behave on the cover stitch. I'm not always using my cover stitch machine when I need to elastic to the seam of the waistband. No, it's not possible, because could be. No, because when you are, you know, I made Jennifer. This is for you. When I attached the elastic on the waistband. So imagine that this was the waistband and this is my elastic. I went like this, because then when this is turning, then it's turning nice. It's not. I don't need to turn the elastic. The elastic is not going to turn nice if it's going to be serged. So I don't know if you understand what I meant. But and anyway, and to have it like this, it can be done only on the sewing machine or on the cover stitch machine with the chain stitch. that the elastic is getting attached or buffed up against the seam, so on the seam allowance of the waistband. Okay, and this is going this way. Yes, I'm going to lift up a little bit to put my seam allowance well. Okay. I have for this serger okay, I'm putting knife down. For the serger I bought together for, I knew that I wanted for my cover stitch machine transparent foot, and I saw that they had also for the serger. Is this one? It's actually really cool that it's transparent and I can really see well. But I find that this one is not. It's not so. This is fitting the fabric much nicer. You know, the metal one. In this case, on the cover stitch, it doesn't really matter. But I found that the transparent one is not as nice as the original. I mean, this is also an original, but the metal is also nicer. So, oh, it's still on. So this is the waistband. It's on. Let's see. So, for a moment, I thought I messed up with the side seams. So this is how it's looking, and when it's going to be on, of course, it's going to be stretched nice. I'm going to give it a little bit of press. And I forgot to add that little label, but actually it's really easy. I'm going to put a piece of fabric and just zigzag it on the seam allowance of this waist to let Lisa exactly know which one is the front and which one is the back. Okay. Oh, this is looking really nice. What I can also do, if I really want, is to go with the cover stitch machine with the chain stitch to anchor this seam allowance here with a small, I don't know, like an edge stitch to have it sure that it's going to stay in place. But I think it's going to be okay. So this is how it's looking now. It's looking really nice. Tomorrow I'm going to ask Lisa to put them on to see how much the hem must be. I did add a hem of 5 centimeters in the pattern, but I think it's really too much. I think I can easily cut off like an inch. But I need to see this tomorrow on Lisa. So this is how they are looking. And I think, of course, this is the advantage of having a serger and using the serger. Of course, on the inside, they are also very, very neat. Really nice. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for a moment. Let me see. I have here a bunch of cables. And I'm going to do the cover stitch, and I think I'm going to put just some other threads. See, the cover stitch from Babylock. This is the latest one. Is the Euphoria. It's a really big machine. I used to have the Janoma say Pay X1000 or something like that. One of those, I think, or 2000. I don't know if it was 2000, but I used to have that one, and I was not a big friend with that machine. We had a lot of problems together, but I must say that in the last period it did start to work really well. And actually, because I was always thinking, you know, I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook. And of course, everybody has their own settings there, and they say, "Oh, you need to do that, you need to do that, it will work great." But at the end, with that machine, how I got really a friend with her was really to take a moment and try my settings, the settings on my own fabrics and stuff. And I discovered that that machine, in my case, worked with a really high tension on the looper. And from that moment on, it worked really, really, really nice. But this one is the Euphoria, and if I give it a little bit of juice, it's also going to go on. So it's already threaded, and it has the same kind of threading system like the Acclaim, of course, with the air threading and stuff. And it's threaded now with black thread. Yes, I think it's okay. One thing that on this machine is not really working well is the threading of the needles. They say in the manual that you need to put it in the threading stand, and then you can thread the needles and everything. But in my case, I need to take it out of that stand and move just a little bit the wheel, and then this thing is going to come completely down. Otherwise, it's, I don't know, maybe it's not really well. I don't know. It doesn't work in my case, but with a little bit of just a little bit turn of the wheel is working fine. So I have here a piece of the jersey I just used for my pants, and I'm going to make a hem. And when I'm testing this kind of stuff on the cover stitch, or actually on any other machine, also if I'm using zigzag stitch or with a twin needle, I'm always making a sample to see how it's working on the fabric I'm working with. And I take care to make the sample on the fabric on the direction that also my pants are hanging. So I'm not going to make the sample, let's see, like this, because I know that the threads are going the other way, so like this. So to be sure that I have an accurate reference, I need to work with the fabric the same way that is hanging on my garment. So I have the machine is the tension of the needles is in auto on this machine, and they make it really easy. And I'm going to lay it like that. And the looper is on 3. This is like the medium, the standard. And the differential feed is on neutral. So I'm going to make a little hem. This fabric is not really straight. Let's see, maybe the other one. Okay. Well, this is looking really funky if you press it from the right side. But I have it now. You see? And let's see what it's doing. Okay. I have 2 needles, the left and the right, and I have the middle needle out. So I have here a reference line. Another cool thing about this machine is that it has knee lifts. And this is also something really cool. And I wish I had something like this on my serger. Let's see. Oh. See? It's really cool. Okay. So I have it, and let's see what it's doing. I have the stitches on 3, but I think I'm going to put it on almost 4. And the pedal is this one. Let's see. Yeah. Probably in a blue is going to look even nicer. This is something really cool on this machine that you can stitch off. So This looks really cool. I don't know if you can see, but probably you can see because this is black. Probably not. And this is from the right side. It's really nice, actually. Oh, I really like it. And of course, in a blue thread, it's going to look even nicer. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is nice. This is really nice. Yes. So this is what I'm going to use to hem these little pants for Lisa. So everybody, thank you so much for who was here tonight, and also for the other ones that are going to watch the video. If you have questions, please ask in the comments. If you are watching this later, I'm going to post some pictures on my Facebook and on my Instagram account. You can see there Lisa wearing the pants. So tomorrow I'm going to hem them because it looks like the cover stitch is doing a really great job. They're really, really cool. Who knows, maybe I should try some flare pants. And I do have this fabric also in fuchsia and in a lighter blue. So maybe I'll make something for myself too. Fabric is really nice and soft, not so nice to sew. A bit funky. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to post on time the new live, so that maybe if you want to join me in a live session, you can do that, and you have time to prepare things. If you have any, I don't know, any questions or something like that, put them in the comments in the video, and the video will stay on YouTube, so I will answer them. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight, and I hope you enjoyed this sewing session. Okay, love you everybody, bye.